Matrix or oh shit, you
Oh,
started.
there it is.
I was ready.
Yeah.
All right,
Hey,
we're ready.
you.
Let's do it.
Hey, you. Yeah, we're going live right now. You're seeing at the grown-ups table. I'm your host, Jesse Pimpinella. And as always, my partner in crime,
John Jacobs.
Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you for joining this show. We are very excited for the special guest we have coming on tonight, Ryan Hillsman. We're going to be talking about The Matrix.
Whoop,
whoop, whoop. There it is. There it is. Let's get that nice, bright signage up right there. Ah, excellent. And make sure you like and subscribe to this video, to this page, to our YouTube page, everything. Pretty much just get our page pregnant, all right, and have a serious relationship with it.
Get our page pregnant, but don't dip out once you realize maybe you should have pulled out.
No, yeah. I mean, have a solid relationship with our page. I mean,
I like it.
We're good. And think about grandkids. I mean, we'll be there for you to give you your medicine, you know what I mean? And you'll be there for our medicine. This is a romantic relationship, essentially. So make sure you like and subscribe. And without further ado, let's bring them out. Let's bring them out because I want to.
Should we bring them out? I have one question before you bring them out real quick.
Bring the question on.
Why are you wearing a Halloween 2 shirt out of curiosity?
That's a great question, John. Because listen, me and my wife, not only did we get married on Halloween, but we are halfway till Halloween, number one. And number two, we gave each other Easter caskets this weekend because we love each other very much. And I said Easter caskets, not baskets, caskets.
I like this. I like where that's going.
So I'm in the spirit right now. People could have Christmas in July. Fuck them. I'm going to have Halloween in April.
Are you drinking a LaCroix? What flavor is that?
I love how my street cred went really white really quickly.
Well, it depends. What flavor? Let me guess. Mango?
Tangerine. Very close.
Oh, tangerine. Okay. It was interesting that you're wearing a Halloween 2 shirt and you're drinking a LaCroix. Like, I mean, wow, man.
John, nothing makes sense. Just like the Halloween continuity timeline.
I just feel like you're like 20-year-old, like college white girl right now, man.
Well, I drink college girl, white girl style. I cry after I drink too much. So, man, it fits.
You drink too much LaCroix?
I love you guys.
ODing on the tasteless suds that are going into your mouth.
Bradley was such an asshole. No.
He said he was going to be my boyfriend, but now I can't find him.
We need a better douchey boyfriend name. Hold on, let me try that one more time. Chad.
Right?
Declan was such an asshole.
Chad.
Thad's a good one.
Kyle.
Thad's a good one.
Oh, dude. THADD. Thad. There it is. There it is, man. Oh, my God. Never name your kid that if you have one, please.
But you can name your kid Neo. You should name your kid Neo.
Maybe.
Maybe. He is the one. Speaking of somebody who is the one, there is somebody who is the one that is on our show today.
Who is it?
Who is it? It is the one and only Hillsman, everybody. How you doing today, Ryan?
Awesome. How are you guys doing?
Can't
complain,
complain,
man. Thanks for joining the show, Ryan. We really appreciate it. Ryan's been a big supporter of our show from the beginning. He participates in tons of episodes. He gives us props and everything. So what better episode to be Ryan's inaugural episode on an awesome movie, but confusing trilogy and even more confusing reboot, but it's really a sequel that's coming out, I guess, at the end of this year. So there's a lot of confusion
with whatever information they give you.
Well, Ryan, thank you so much for coming on the show. And
honestly, thanks for having me on.
Oh, you're welcome, man. And before we get started, I just want to kind of talk to you for a minute, just so the audience can get to know you. This is your first time on the show. So we just like to talk to our people. You are really, really, really heavily involved in kind of the geek culture, nerd culture, and the cosplay world. So tell us a little bit about what are the top 3 favorite cosplays that you have put together for yourself, and what was the best moment you had cosplaying?
Well, my first cosplay was definitely Ghostbusters.
Nice. There we go.
It's authentic to a T, man. It looks great.
Thank you. Probably one of my best moments was when I built my second proton pack, which is the one you see me in all the pictures with. That one I actually managed to get like almost exactly accurate to the movies as possible.
Awesome.
Going to the St. Patty's Day parade in Boston, walking around with a shit ton of other Ghostbusters from all over. That was probably one of the best times of my entire life doing cosplay.
That's pretty cool, man. I'm not gonna lie. It's really awesome.
It's my feet and my shoulders weren't liking it because that proton pack's like 35 some odd pounds of dead weight and waving around all the time. Yeah, it's bad.
They're heavy.
It's not. Yeah. I've also done Mandalorian, not the Mandalorian, but a Mandalorian.
And you made that
Mandalorian it's still amazing.
Absolutely, and you made that one from scratch, ground up.
Yeah, scratch, ground up, and I wish I was still doing that one. I might do another one, but it just became too much of a pain in the ass to be. You try and get into certain clubs, and they do nothing but critique, and you can only take so much before you take the armor outside and destroy it.
That's a shame, though, man. In these types of groups, we should be banding together and supporting each other, not like judging, critiquing, and like making people feel to where they don't belong or don't want to cosplay anymore. That's the part of cosplay I don't like, and I don't think enough people understand. There is a huge like dark side to cosplay, and I'm not talking about the crazy shit people do when they cosplay. Yeah. That's something completely different. I'm just talking about
that's like a whole other level. Right. There are different tiers of insanity when it comes to this crap.
I know, right? I mean, those Southerners LARPing Civil War style.
Oh, no, Jesse, it's not even on that level. We're talking about like furries fucking each other, like people fucking each other, like maybe they cross furries and X-Men and fuck each other. I don't know, man, but there's some weird shit that goes down. But hey, again, more power to those people. If that's what makes them happy and they're not hurting anybody, do what you want to do, man. And that's why it bothers me to hear that, you know, you might have been treated differently, because look, just because I'm not into a particular cosplay or a particular fandom doesn't mean I'm going to shit on somebody else who is. And so who cares if your chest piece was a, you know, millimeter off, or your helmet didn't have a dent where it needed to be? Dude, you're doing so much more than somebody else has already done. So who the hell are they to judge you? Like, that really upsets me, man. It really does.
But now if I do happen to work on one, I'm not going to have anything to do with any costume clubs. It's just going to be for me to have fun and dress up. Right now, I'm working on a Star Wars smuggler, my own original character. I actually got the helmet right here.
Oh, let's see it, man. So where did you decide to not only do the smuggler cosplay, but is that a Republic Commando helmet?
Yep, it's a Clone Commando. Basically, part of the backstory for my smuggler, because people have been saying, you know, smugglers shouldn't have armor, shouldn't have helmets and stuff because, you know, whatever. I'm like, you know what? But what about the areas that smugglers may have to make dangerous drops in?
Right.
I mean, this is one of the most advanced helmets that the Republic had at the time. So my character just happened to find one because he went to an old Clone Wars battlefield, found it, and knew about the special things that it had, and uses it for the more dangerous drops.
I also like how you have that backstory created. Jesse, go ahead.
Real quickly, if someone would have just dropped in the middle of what Ryan said, it would just sound like he was trying to sell us the helmet. Like, helmet out there.
Well, I am in sales, so you know.
There you go.
Listen, if you're smuggling, this is the thing to have on your head.
This is your helmet, right here.
Your brain is the first most important thing. The second thing, helmet. That's what it is.
The other things I've been into, wrestling. I was into like backyard wrestling. I did that for a while. Transitioned into
a performer. You did it. You performed. So you were doing the stunts and participating in the stories and everything. Like, you did it. So did you sustain any hard injuries, or did you come out okay?
No. I've come out pretty good. There was actually one quick story. One in particular. I was in the middle of a match with one of my friends, and he wanted to do something big. It was like one of my first matches with him. He wanted to do something big. So I'm like, all right, let's set up a table of chairs. So we had three metal chairs, steel chairs. going across. And then he's like, how about you take a suplex through him? I'm like, okay. And he's like, how about you take a superplex through it? I'm like, okay. So we get up to the top rope, sets me up. He goes, are you ready? I look up, and all I can see is like, like those old TV shows was like,
Yeah.
So I'm looking at the chairs. I'm like, no. And he goes, you ready? I'm like, all right. Right into it.
Oh,
Probably one of the most comfortable things I've ever landed on, believe it or not.
really?
And then not only that, but we did 2 more suplexes right onto the thing.
Oh.
So I lost the match, which I was supposed to. I walked to the back. I'm holding my back. I'm stumbling. As soon as I make my way through the curtains into the back room, I stood straight up, and everybody in the backstage area is like,
you're alive? You can
walk?
Good?
They're like, how are you walking after that? I'm like, what? It was comfortable. And I just walked over and did nothing, getting ready for my next match.
Wow, man, I gotta say, man, you've definitely taken a card from me. I've never done that, so more power to you.
And then other than that, I do airsoft, which is a lot of fun. Yeah. Shoot 'em up. Well, until COVID hit, but
Hey, we're hopefully coming out of it soon, right? A lot of people getting vaccinated. We're making some progress, so hopefully we'll be able to get to it very, very soon. Airsoft is super fun. I've been shot a million times. It hurts, but you know what? It's fun.
It's a good hurt. It's a good hurt.
Yeah. Oh, I see Daniel on. What's up, man? Also, Tom Cook's on.
Oh my God, we got Tom, and then we got 2 Toms. We got another.
Oh yeah, we got a second Tom. I don't know how to pronounce.
Oh, that's my buddy.
Is he the one that suplexed you through the table?
Nah.
Oh, okay. But he is your best friend. So Tom, who's Ryan's best friend, welcome to the show. Thanks for watching.
Welcome, everybody.
All right. So without further ado, let's talk about what we're all here for. And we're all here to talk about those damn pills, right? The red pill versus the blue pill and the Matrix. The Matrix. This movie was massive when it came out. Came out in 1999. I remember it. I was a junior in high school. Everybody went to see it that opening weekend. And I mean, the film just exploded. My parents went to see the damn movie. So
my mom took me and my best friends to go see it.
There you go. So, I mean, everybody saw this movie. It was legendary for a couple of reasons. One, we had the bullet time special effect that's still being used today in films, which was fantastic. And it really worked for that film. They didn't overuse it, but they didn't underuse it. They used it right where they needed to, and it was great. But the second part to it was this story. Not only was it a fish out of water story, but it was never mind. You're actually living in the future, and it's fucked up because machines won this war, and here we go. And you're just like, wait, what? Like, it's this crazy reveal. It's kind of like the man behind the curtain. It's like you think one thing's happening, and it's like, nope, here's what's really going down. And you're like, oh my God, like, that was just huge at that time. We didn't really have a lot of films and stories that kind of did that. And I think that's one of the things that really gravitated people towards that.
Another interesting thing about the movie as well is it kind of contextualized wushu martial arts films to being more practical in the sense of, like, you ever watch them and they're like running against the side of the wall for 3.5 minutes. And it's like, how can you do that? And then it's like in this, it's like, oh, you're in the Matrix. Of course you can walk across the wall like that. It makes perfect sense.
Right.
I like how they kind of grounded something that kind of never has been grounded before. So it was very interesting watching him do that. But yeah, this is a great film. Ryan, any opening statements you want to make about the film itself?
I mean, other than being probably one of the most groundbreaking trilogies ever. Second movie, obviously not as good for a lot of reasons, but it's still phenomenal. It did well enough to give us a great third movie to close out at least I thought close out the whole thing. But we'll have to see at the end of the year.
Yeah, December. They moved it up to December, so it's coming end of the year.
End of the year, but no information.
Nothing. Zero. We'll get more. We'll get more into that towards the end of the show when we kind of talk about what our predictions are and what we actually know about the fourth film, which is really just casting at this point. But it'll be a nice note to end the show on. So Ryan, you brought up a good point though. You brought up this. So we had this groundbreaking film, this groundbreaking trilogy, but the other two sequel films, right? And a lot of people look at these films and so when I look at it, yes, it's a trilogy as a whole. It's a complete story. But when I look at it, because of the way it was shot and kind of you can tell how they wrote the second two films after the first one, is that it can almost be like the first one is its own thing, and then parts 2 and 3 are their own thing. And they go together as a whole as a trilogy, but you can watch them separately and they still kind of work apart.
It's almost kind of like how Star Wars was.
Yeah. Oh, actually, really good point. Really good point.
I mean, the first movie was it was a perfect standalone movie. I think that's what it was originally supposed to be. It was just supposed to be its own movie, and then that was it. And then they did The Empire Strikes Back, and then that did better than that. And
Game changer.
Yeah. So, I mean, the Matrix itself, it's pretty much like that. You can watch each of the movies not knowing anything about it and still be able to enjoy watching it without feeling like you missed anything.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. But Daniel brings up a good point. Second, third movies, they were absolutely confusing at times. I was confused at times, but like if you watch it, it's one of those movies where it's like you had to think a lot. That's the one thing.
Well, they use a lot of technobabble in them.
Yeah,
that was the biggest issue that I found with it. It was there's too much. There was more dialogue than in the first movie. And they used a lot of technobabble, which, unless you're a computer programmer, and even then, I can't really imagine too many computer programmers talking like they did in those movies. You didn't really know too much about what they were saying.
Yeah. And like I said, there was a lot they were trying to do that besides technological stuff, a cyberpunk story, a theological story, a philosophical story, what is reality also. I think what was amazing about that trilogy is how much it tried to take on. And I think the first movie did an excellent job tying it together. It's just enough of everything in there to get you thinking.
Yes.
The second and third movie, I felt at times they were like, whoa, let's bring this back a little bit. Let's bring it back a little bit. You know what I mean? And there was just time things kind of got too far out for it. But like Tarantino says and John brings up, you have to find something good that you liked about those movies. The second one I felt gave Lawrence Fishburne a cool ass battle scene. I love that.
Oh, dude, hell yeah!
That highway scene, because even the first movie they're like, don't go on the highway because the agents could become you. Which, by the way, what an amazing insurance claim that would be.
I got agented.
Let's just throw it out there real quickly. Like, what happened? Well, it was me driving, and all of a sudden I was like, ah! And then I blacked out for like a half hour, and then I had a black eye. It was really weird. My lip, I got a bruised ribs, and I was laying in the middle of the highway. I don't know.
Now,
I was gone.
You bring up the freeway scene, which, if I'm not mistaken, at the time, which was 2001, 2002 when it was released. I should know that.
I think 2003.
Oh, that's right, 2003, because then, 6 months later, the second one was released, or it was something like that. They were like, released.
Well, the highway speed was in the second one.
Right. So for the time that came out, 2003, if I'm not mistaken, at that time, that was the most expensive special effects shot, ever in a movie. They fucking went out to BFE and literally built a giant strip of freeway, and they just drove up and down it for a month while they shot this thing and did all the effects and everything. So they literally went out and just built a goddamn freeway and shot on it.
That's devotion.
Yeah.
Which is what I love. I like to see stuff like that, because that, to me, like the problem with fight movies nowadays is they're not as elaborate as they used to be, like crazy. Like, remember the one-shot fight scenes you would see in movies, even though, there's times where they may cut, or there might be moments where the stunts are absolutely insane. Like, for me, I felt like John Wick was an extension of the Matrix. Like it kind of brought us back to some of that grittiness. Like so like that's one of the things I appreciate about these movies. Like, yeah, it's a little wushu martial arts, yeah, but like that those times where they're standing across each other, like fucking A, I love that shit. I mean,
I don't know, man. You started talking about fight scenes, and the only thing I could think about was Roadhouse. So sorry, I got a little.
Roadhouse is amazing. Okay, Roadhouse is just textbook bar fighting. All right, and let me tell you something. Sam Elliott is the only person that can rock a man bun. Fuck everybody. Okay,
but he got killed, man. Like what the hell?
He went out like a hero. All right, they had a town.
We didn't see him go out. We saw him perfectly fine. Then we saw him dead. We got nothing. No satisfaction at all.
That's true. That's true. I miss Sam Elliott. All right, hashtag let's save Sam Elliott. I want time to
look at that. Something to come out of this episode. Hashtag save Sam Elliott.
Just randomly, there's no purpose to it. Just hashtag Sam Elliott. Just like maybe he resurrects. Maybe he's like he had to come that close to death to heal. He's a mystical man in that mustache. That's all.
Magical. So you know, we've all seen the films, and you know, the bulk of our audience has definitely oh, Ted, yes, I can rock a man bun, and I do it often. Just don't really do it on camera. Like if I'm working, like doing physical work outside or working on my car or something, I'll bun it up all day because it keeps
saving the double deuce from its criminal residence.
Well, trying to save it and build it back up into a profitable business. Exactly. So you know, and I've been sleeping in a barn these days, and it's been very, very humbling.
It's anyway. Just, let's just face it. Let's just say it right now. Roadhouse was just an elaborate episode of Bar Rescue. That's all it was.
Yeah, you know, actually, wow. So are we really going to equate John Taffer to Patrick Swayze? Like, if I watched an episode of Bar Rescue and John Taffer came in and was like, so you're fucking lazy and stealing her money, and then whoosh, roundhouse kick to the face. Like, how dope would that be, man? Like, what a way to get your point across, John Taffer. Just roundhouse people in the face.
That's it. And tell me those ratings don't go up.
Oh, they will. I already watch every episode, so I would just make more people watch it if that was happening. So
there you go.
But
now, let's return back to the Matrix real quick. Let's get in. Let's talk one thing. One thing we need before we start our journey into the Matrix, like how Neo started, the red pill. The red pill, I can only offer you answers. That is it. As isn't that what Morbius said? I can't remember. He's like, I can't answer solutions or nothing. Just the truth. And then blue pill will keep you in blissful ignorance, man. Now, Ryan, what is your analysis? Would you have taken the blue pill or would you have taken the red pill if you were in that situation?
I'd probably have taken the red pill.
Red pill? All right. Rock and roll. I mean, why would you?
I'd love to see what would have, you know, what could have been beyond the veil that has pretty much been put over everybody's eyes.
That's interesting. That's interesting. For me, I you're a lot stronger than me. Because here's the thing: if I was a success, like I'm talking selling out stadiums, comedian, I had taken that blue pill and gladly offered my body to charge whatever battery they fucking need.
Right. Take it.
Literally, I would have. I'm sorry, this is awful. But at one point, I was looking at Cypher. I'm like, all right, okay.
Like you could understand the guy. You're like, you know, I don't blame him. Like
I know this isn't steak. I know when I put it in my mouth, they're putting stimulations in my brain to make me think it's steak, but it's not steak. But you know what? I don't fucking care. You know what
exactly.
I mean? And I'm like thinking like, all right. That's a good argument. I mean, what's the worst that could happen? Your body is randomly possessed at certain points of the day. That could happen. But I mean, you know, like in the middle of my act, I'm like, so my mother was being a bitch. My Neo.
Right. Like,
what the hell happened? I think he was talking about his mother for a second there.
That's one hell of an act.
I know. Well, it would be a double act at that point. It'd just be,
so, you know.
So yeah.
You guys and everybody who knows me understands I'm a very reality-based, fact-driven, like, you know, living in reality type guy. But I gotta say, I might have gone blue pill.
Yeah.
And for the reason that Jesse brought up, look, I'm all about truth and I want to live truth. One of my goals in life is to accept as many true claims as possible and as few false claims as possible. So I want to know the truth. I want to know the reality that we're in, and I want to take the steps to determine what that is. But at the same time, I'm like, man, if I was like a playboy, just like chilling every day, there's really not a reason for me to need to see the reality because I'm pretty good where I like, why would I leave that lifestyle to live in fear of machines trying to kill me, eating slop on a jalopy held together?
Well, you don't know about all that at the time.
Like,
you don't know about all that.
Well,
you're just given the choice of the blue pill or the red pill. You take the red pill, then you find out how much your life is going to suck for the rest of your life.
Yeah, so Morpheus owes me a refund. That motherfucker needs to either give me money or put me back in a better life than I had. I mean, it's just that simple. You lied, motherfucker. You told me this was going to be good, and it's been horrible.
Oh, my God.
Wait, what did he say?
Oh, my God. Jesus Christ, Ted. Jesus, Ted was packing today. Holy shit.
Oh, Ted came prepared. Oh, my God.
Ted, you are the fucking man right now. That might be the comment of the show.
So, I mean, okay, guys, this is at the grown-ups table. We're going to get vulgar for a second. I got to ask, if Agent Smith materializes and you're, like, inside of him, do you, like, pull out or do you keep going?
You ask him to put the Red Skull costume on. You sound like the Red Skull,
dude. The elf on.
You sound like V from Vendetta. Put the Scarf mask on.
Put the mask on. Right.
I guess,
Hugo, you've been in a ton of movies I love. I need you to dress up from each one of them while I stay inside of you, okay?
The machines based Agent Smith off of Hugo. That's what they did. They're like, out of all the actors, we liked him most. But all right, let's go back to the comment section real quick. I want the blue pill for my
dick. What's up, Dan Brown?
Dan Brown, what's up, baby? Yeah,
for my dick.
You guys came firing today.
And look, if you know Dan Brown and his voice, hearing him inside your internal monologue say that makes it just even better.
That does. Oh, was it? Why does it have to be a Playboy or a comedian selling out venues? Why not just
Well, I mean, Ryan, we're talking about other possibilities. Yes, you can simply be yourself, but just as the Matrix is, there's poor people, right? So there is somebody that's hooked up to the Matrix, and their Matrix life is they're in poverty, or they're a drug addict, or they have the worst life ever. So maybe that red pill is 1% better than what they have now. They're willing to take it. But if I'm like a millionaire or a playboy or like, Bill Gates, I mean, maybe I don't want to take that red pill. Maybe I'm good where I am right now. But hit me up in 10 years. I might be ready for it then. Yeah. Come back in a little bit. I'm not ready now, but come back.
It's a good question. Let's see what we got. My luck, I choked and died.
So poor Tom doesn't even get a chance, man.
How awkward would that have been? Neo just die right there. Roll credits.
Roll credits.
Roll credits. Well,
oh my God, Ted would finish. Holy shit. Ted would achieve full orgasm. That's great to know, Ted. And if you guys know Ted, that's kind of a creepy thought that popped into my mind there. So let's move on.
And then you tell Hugo I'm pregnant, and he picks up the phone and zaps away. What? And then you're gone. You're fucking out of there.
Oh, man. I really hope Hugo's watching this episode right now.
That's exactly. Oh my God, that's true. That's true. But anyways.
Oh wow.
So I guess I had red. You said you would do red, or no? I said blue. You said you would do blue.
Yeah.
And you red. All right, cool. This is a very interesting. This is interesting dynamic. And please, everybody, if you still have something to say, if you want to go blue pill, red pill, let us know why you would do that. Ted, you're cracking this up too. So, man, I'm going to give you some shout outs there, my friend. Going to give you shout outs there. But let's get more into our conversation. So let's talk about this. So right now, when the Matrix movie starts, we're just like Neo. We are kind of thrusted into this new reality where we are batteries. The sky is blacked out. There's these weird hentai robots. Just kind of
hentai robots, and they all have dick hands. Like, what are you talking about?
They do kind of have dick hands. They kind of do. They're just kind of coming at you. You're all slimy and shit. Let's face it. I got a little hentai vibe. That's all I'm saying.
Hentai bot. What the fuck, man?
All right, look.
What the hell are you doing before the show?
Tell me what the name of the robot's called. But I said hentai robot, and everybody knew what I was talking about. All right.
Well, yeah, we just needed to make sure you actually knew.
There were penises on it, all right? We don't. But anyways, okay. So what happened? So let's discuss it. So Neo wakes up, finds out humans are batteries. How do you think we got to batteries? How did the machines rise to power? What are our thoughts on that?
All right. So basically, so if you notice, the Matrix takes place at a time where, for everybody that's plugged in, they're at the height of, civilization pretty much. Mm-hmm. Technology's been booming and all that other stuff. So in the real world, what happened was we created AI. Okay. And when we did that, it just became more and more sentient. As time went on, we started to let it make more machines. Like, it just started making machines, and the machines were coming out smart, just like the AI. And then all of a sudden, as they became more sentient, they wanted to basically be on their own. They had their own ambassadors that entered the United Nations looking to basically be free. They wanted to be their own people. And just like with anything human nature, we told them to go pound sand. So war breaks out. I think humans were the first ones to attack the machines. They had their own version of Paul Revere that was basically let them know that the humans were coming and attacking. And
interesting. That's interesting.
Yeah, that was actually pretty cool when I found out about that. And the war just went on, and because the machines were solar powered, essentially, they needed the sun. So as a big FU, we blocked out the sun permanently.
See, I always thought that's interesting.
And then as a big FU back, they turned us to batteries.
I like that. It's like it keeps escalating to let's screw each other over, and okay, you guys are about to become batteries. We're done with this.
And on a bright side to this whole thing, I want everybody to know that if this future ever does occur and we all become batteries, I want everybody to know this right now from the bottom of my heart, that none of us are useless, all right? We all have purpose. Might not be the purpose you want, but we're all purpose, and somebody cares about us getting drained. But somebody cares nonetheless, the machine. I want to throw that out there. It's a little bright side to it all. But that's freaky. I mean, so this war was basically an FU that measured out to the point where we were robots. We're batteries. We're trapped in machines where we think what we see exists, but it really isn't. And the machines are totally running everything. It's a really crazy thing. Now, with the machines, the programs that are designed in there and all that stuff, how much do you think those programs are basically an extension of the machines that have evolved and don't need the machines anymore? Or do you think there's very much a part of the machines?
Well, the thing with the programs is they each have their own function.
Yes.
So you have the Matrix and you have the machines. The machines made the Matrix because they needed a world for basically the minds of the humans to be able to live in.
Sure.
It's the only way to keep them alive. So you're born into the Matrix. You're basically given all the information and everything else from the machines. The programs help to basically run a Matrix. You know, they become obsolete like anything else. Programs in the machine world become obsolete, and they manage to try, if they don't succumb to deletion or going back to the programming source, they try to smuggle themselves into the Matrix because they're sentient, just like you and me. But you know, you have the programs like the Architect from the second movie.
Yeah,
he created the Matrix itself. You have the Oracle, who, after the failure of the first Matrix, the Oracle was made to basically monitor the human psyche. So, you know, the first Matrix didn't happen again.
Okay.
But isn't also one of her functions to essentially lead the one to make the decision that they know he needs to make so they can reset and do it all over again?
Yes. Yeah. So I don't know if this is like in a different segment or not, but all right. So essentially, the one is the source code. Okay. In the Matrix, you can get anomalies, just like with any other computer program. You get anomalies, all that other stuff. So when anomalies start piling up, the machines create the source code, which is the one. They put it inside of a human born into the Matrix, and when the time comes, the Oracle is supposed to basically help the one realize what it is, and basically he takes all the anomalies of the Matrix into himself. He's able to do basically anything he wants, or she wants, within the Matrix, to be able to reboot the Matrix. So that way the machines don't lose all of their human crops. Because that's a lot to lose if the Matrix goes down. Yeah, all their batteries are dead and they got to start from square one, which could be catastrophic to them.
Because they don't have the solar power from the sunlight, so they have to get
exactly. They have no other power source but us.
Well, they just start essentially eating each other until there's none left.
Cannibal androids.
So that brings up an interesting point too. Is that in this particular story, this is Matrix number 6, right?
7. No. I think there were only like 3 Matrixes. Okay. Zion was on its 6th iteration.
Okay, but there were only 3 Matrix before that. Okay, yeah. So Ted just said Soylent Green. Exactly, Ted. You're on fire tonight, man. You are on fire. Exactly it's people. Soylent Green is people. Like, oh, best ending ever. Okay, anyways, back to Matrix. So, we have these sentient beings that are self-replicating, but they're not organic, and they have figured out a way to keep themselves functioning by using us as batteries, but yet they still can't get the fucking programming right to where this shit keeps happening over and over. Like,
nothing's perfect.
Nothing is perfect, but you would
now don't forget this too.
Conclude to a certain degree that each time a Matrix fails from anomaly, the next one is better. So at some point, we should get a Matrix that kind of lasts forever on its own.
The first Matrix itself was, by what the architect said, it was perfect. It was the perfect world. The problem was we couldn't handle it. It was too perfect for humanity, and it failed. I forget what happened with the second one, but the one thing you got to remember is the Oracle switched sides.
Yes.
The Oracle went from working with the machines to working against the machines. She basically started to help the resistance, all the red pills, to basically bring them to the one. And then she kind of, in a sense, changed the format of the one from just rebooting the Matrix to keep the machines fed to basically trying to be the savior of humanity, which wasn't his program to begin with.
Which that does make sense.
So totally if there's any imperfections, it would kind of be put on her being the essential mother of the Matrix.
Now, was she doing this because her goal was to prevent further Matrix resets and just to keep this one, or was it to free all the human minds? Like, what was her reason for doing this?
She was obsolete.
So she is trying to hang on to her existence by essentially flip-flopping and saying, hey, I could probably help you get a lot farther than anybody else did before. Here's what we're going to do.
Pretty much, yeah. Pretty much, like, the moment she became obsolete, she went into exile into the Matrix. Then she kind of reevaluated her life and decided to help the Resistance instead of really hindering it by bettering the Matrix.
Now, at the end of the third film, we literally see the Matrix reset. So that now becomes Matrix number 4, right?
I would say that's a pretty safe guess.
Roundabout.
Yeah,
we'll get more into that topic pretty soon. We'll definitely, because
am I getting too far?
Did I jump too far? We got a few more topics I want to hit before we head
let's
out
slow down, because we're really on to something here, because these are the things that, even with exposition, obviously, I mean, I've seen these movies a million times and I've missed some things because the Matrix relies so much on exposition, which I'm not against. Exposition, when done correctly, is a beautiful thing. I think the Matrix does it well, but there are other times I feel like it goes a little bit far, but it's understandable that it does go a little bit further.
Neo is the character that allows for exposition, because we are thrusted into this just like Neo is. Suddenly he woke up from an existence that we are familiar with.
Yeah, but he didn't come around until X point when they freed him. I don't necessarily think he's the go-to for the exposition. I think the exposition...
Oh, no. He's not the go-to for exposition. No. He's not the go-to exposition. He's the reason there can be exposition.
Oh, I misunderstood what you said. Okay, I'm sorry.
Just like how Harry Potter, he came into a world of wizardry world after 13 years of not knowing this existed. So he's coming in with our frame of mind.
Gotcha. No, I understand what you're saying now. That's the true fish out of water. So yeah, I get what you're saying there.
Yeah. So I think that's what made the first movie work so well, because in the second and third movie, there wasn't so much someone can learn, because Neo was kind of, for me at least, I got this vibe. Neo was kind of all knowing at this point, and everybody seems like they were so in the knowing that I was no longer in the knowing, and I didn't have a character to hold on to and learn with.
That's a good point. I never thought about that. Yeah, at what point do you separate relating to the hero to where you're like, well, shit, I don't have a frame of reference now. Who am I supposed to root for?
Yeah. And here's the thing. You don't always have to relate with the hero. You can relate with a side character. Hellboy did an amazing job with that, with the one guy character from the first movie that was supposed to be like Hellboy's handler. He was the new guy that was getting hired. I can't remember who he is. But, like, we were learning everything from his point of view. All the questions he would ask is what the exposition we needed. So even if they had somebody that Neo rescued and he's just learning, something like that, that would have been...
Well, I think they kind of gave that to us in the third movie with that little kid.
Yeah, they kind of did.
Yeah.
I mean, they could have developed the character better for that role, but I want to say that's probably what they were trying to give us with that third one. Because he just shows up out of nowhere, and you find out, oh, Neo set him free. Okay, so
why is Neo setting people free? Like, how did he? That was a Morpheus thing. Why is Neo setting people free?
Yeah.
Well, that was his new program. Now that was his new function.
Makes sense. Makes sense. I guess at that point, Morbius's position was to free everybody, but at the same time, find the person that would officially...
Well, his main thing was to find the one. That's what the Oracle told him he was going to do. So he was going around trying to find whoever could have been the one, and he finally found him.
Yeah.
And then I guess he just ended up doing what all the other captains of all the other ships do, and then just let Neo take the reins and try and basically red pill as many people as he could.
There you go. Now, let's jump over into the comment section real quick before we hit on to our next topic. So let's go over to Dan Brown gave us another question. The real question is, what pill do I need to take so Geico's tag team making Sundays commercial doesn't?
That is the brown pill, sir.
The brown pill.
It's the pill that's full of shit that you have to take when you have stomach issues. That's the pill you take, sir.
This is when Skynet takes over and tries to kill John Connor. It's exactly what happens. Very good.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
It's pretty much. Placing a perfect program with imperfect results. Yeah, that's true. That's a lot. I mean, that's why the Matrix is restarting and possibly will be restarting again for the fourth film. But let's move over to our next topic, because I want to hit some of these topics because you guys, I think this is going to light up the comments section. Let's get into it. Smith.
I was hoping for this one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Opening with it. Go right into it.
All right. So you have the agents. The agents are basically the ones who are supposed to take care of the red pills. The people who leave the Matrix, part of the resistance, go in and try and free more people. That's why they're able to transition into other humans and stuff, because they have that ability. They're also made faster and everything else, so they can properly fight the people who have left and, get rid of them. Now, Smith was kind of sentient himself, where the other agents weren't. He was kind of like the leader. He was a little bit more sentient than the others were. Now, when in the last fight, in the first movie, Neo enters him and blows him up.
Yes.
He basically corrupted his code. And his ability to replicate himself and take on the abilities of the people he replicates was literally the Matrix trying to fix his code after Neo jacked it all up.
It's interesting.
And then they got rid of all the other.
Wow. You went there. He went for the gag, everyone.
Hello, everyone.
This professional comedian here went for the gag.
Continue your speech.
Oh, he's also apparently using a ring light for lighting.
That's just robots. It's lighting me up.
Wow.
So essentially, after Smith blows up, I guess what the Matrix did was recompile them and tried to make him work with the other agents. Once Neo became more and more with his powers, the Matrix realized it was getting tougher to beat him, so they basically decommissioned those three agents and created the three new agents that we saw in the second movie.
Okay.
So they were upgrades. They were faster, stronger, and as I said, Smith was a little bit more sentient than the other ones were. You could see it in the first movie. Mm-hmm. He would think more freely than the other agents would, where they would be more program-based, where Smith was like, okay, I want out. This place is filthy. It's disgusting. I can't stand you humans. Mm-hmm. The other agents were like, you have no, like they were just following their base program. So Smith, when the upgrades came, Smith became an exile. But he was able to duplicate himself because of what happened with Neo and the Matrix messing with his primary code. And that's how he's able to get his powers.
Okay. I like that. That's actually really interesting. And it's also, he as a program trying to survive just like a human does and finds a way to replicate. I'll reference our favorite quote from Ian Malcolm in Jurassic Park. Life finds a way. Yeah. Like he found a way to replicate himself to the point where he was corrupting the entire program and he would just started dominating inside the Matrix.
He essentially did what LimeWire couldn't, and that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, because LimeWire had the most viruses out of all of those programs. Dude, you know how many computers I fixed from people that had LimeWire? I'm like, this is gone. We're getting
kids nowadays will never know what it's like to experience cyber AIDS.
I got the LimeWire AIDS. I'll be down.
If there is cyber AIDS, I'm sure it's the two white dreadlock ninja dudes in the second movie. They have it.
Yeah,
God,
so
the
Ryan,
twins.
Explain those twins to us. Because I never, as many times as I've seen this movie and as many times as I've participated in conversations, I've actually never really been able to lock down what the fuck they actually are and what their fucking purpose is, other than just pissing me off for an hour and a half in a movie.
So basically, they were programs.
I want to take this real fast. These programs.
Did you see how he just shut you up and was like, "I'll take this one"?
The programs were appropriating with the dreadlocks. Continue.
So basically,
wow, Jesse. Okay, now that you've thoroughly derailed everybody,
sorry,
Ryan. Let's get back to this.
So essentially, they were programs from the machine world, and they basically became obsolete.
Okay.
Just like with all the other programs,
like the French guy, I always forget his name.
The Merovingian.
The Merovingian, yeah, I always forget his damn name.
So the Merovingian, he's actually the main guy within the Matrix that smuggles programs in and out. Right. You give him something that he wants, he will smuggle you into the Matrix if you face exile. That's what the twins were. So I guess they must have said, okay, we'll be your bodyguards. We'll be one of your many bodyguards. We'll let you in. And I guess they must have provided something else too for their base program to be able to come in. Which a funny thing is they actually do what the agents do in the movie. When the programs are brought into the Matrix for exile, they actually boot themselves into a human. So they wipe out the human existence, and then the programs become what they are.
Those humans that they basically selected,
but
right?
They die.
Kind of like the Neo thing, where he's implanted with the source code.
But the thing is if those programs die, they're dead. They're gone. They're done. And so is the human body that they
So those two programs, what were they a program of before they became obsolete? What was their function? What were
that?
They?
I don't remember what they were exactly, but I know that when the programs go into exile, they can basically do a lot of the stuff that Neo can do.
Okay.
They develop their own powers. They're able to bend the Matrix and, basically do what Neo, not to his extent, but what the red pills can do. Sometimes even a little beyond what the red pills can do. Now, what they were originally, I don't know.
Now, I want to take what you said and go one step further. So how is it that Neo begins to manifest powers outside of the Matrix? Because if he's the one and he's just implanted with a source code that's needed to kind of reboot everything, how is it that he physically has powers in the actual real reality-based world? How is that possible?
Because I think he was the first one to have been a red pill.
Wait a minute. So before
all the other ones, the one, they were all human, but they were still jacked into the system. They
were never freed from the Matrix first.
Exactly, because their main purpose. Because I thought the one was always a human that would get red pilled and go in and save humanity.
Yeah.
But when I did research on because I researched a lot of stuff throughout the years.
Clearly, an hour isn't even enough to talk about it. Yeah. There's so much to it.
But apparently, the previous source codes or the ones were jacked into the system. They were never red pills because their primary function was to reboot the Matrix. So there's no point in taking them out of the Matrix. So there might have been something that kind of caused the code to alter his physiology. So when he jacks out of the Matrix, he's able to basically keep a lot of his powers or whatever while he's in the real world.
I have a question though. So if the previous ones were not red pills and they were constantly in the Matrix, then how was it that they were disclosed what their job was, and then thus them performing the job of rebooting the Matrix? And did any of those even get to the architect, or was Neo the first?
It was all done. He was the first one to go to the architect. The other ones were basically set up by the Oracle. The Oracle was the one that was supposed to help the ones do what they were supposed to do, because the ones don't show up. The source code does not show up until there's a lot of anomalies happening within the Matrix.
Sure.
And then it was basically the Oracle's job to get the one to do what he was supposed to do, or she was supposed to do, and just reboot everything.
Gotcha.
But this time, because she was upgraded, or there was an upgrade of the Oracle or whatever, she became obsolete. She left to go help the Resistance, all the red pills that have already been taken out of the Matrix, all the humans, and decided to use the one because of the abilities that the one has, the ability to change whatever basically the sky's the limit. They can do basically anything within the Matrix. That is their world. They are God, in a sense, other than the architect.
Because the other ones before were never red-pilled, they never got to fully kind of articulate and demonstrate their ability because they never actually left the Matrix. Neo was the first one to actually leave the Matrix as the one.
And then realized that he had a Wi-Fi connection in his head to basically work against the machines in the real world.
You connected a couple of dots there that after 20 years, in which I thought I was good. You know what I mean? Like, I thought I was good. Apparently not. There were a few things I even still missed. So,
which, by the way, I gotta say, the internet connection in that movie was fascinating. No, because literally
Wi-Fi before Wi-Fi.
But I mean, do you remember in the 90s when someone would pick up a phone
and just ruin your whole internet experience for the day?
Like, no!
They found out a way to have the phone pick up and the internet gets better. That is pretty impressive.
The internet gets better.
Those machines were on to something. If anything, those machines made the internet extremely like
I was playing Doom on Prodigy and my dad picked up the phone and ruined the connection.
Could you imagine being on the phone and they're like, all right, quick, the agents are going to get here, quick. And then you have the dial up. You're like, oh, fuck. You're like having a heart attack.
Jesse, were you even alive when there was dial-up connection? I feel like by the time you had conscious memory, broadband was already here.
Yes, I had it.
Okay.
Oh my God, my kid played the sound of AOL starting up, and he goes, "Daddy, what is this?" And I'm like,
Nightmare.
"Come here, son. I got a story to tell you."
Let me tell you about AOL.
Back in the old days.
Back in the old days, the internet had to speak Latin backwards before it was able to boot up.
So we are starting to run short on time, and we didn't get to all of our talking points today, which is totally fine, because this is clearly a discussion that we can have a 2.0 version of. A new one. So there's so much more to talk about these films. And again, while there is constructive criticism, objective criticism about all three films, but the second and the third one as well, and even the first one, clearly there is so much to this story and so much thought that went into it. And look, the Wachowskis have not had a total, on top success run. Look, Jupiter Ascending had a cool concept, but it was a total failure across the board. You had Academy Award winning actors in that movie. How did you fail this? But anyways, so, there is so much of this, and they are so talented, and they really did do a good job of telling this story. And we all thought we were good with this story. And 20 years later, we're still learning. We're still talking about it. But what happened? We said, hey, you know what we need? We need a fourth Matrix movie, and guess what? No Lawrence Fishburne, no Hugo, but we're going to bring back Keanu and Trinity, so, hey, we know you're going to come.
I have no idea how the hell that's going to work.
I don't know. I want to hear every person's theory. We'll go a couple minutes over time so we can get everybody's theory. Ryan, you're the guest. You start us off with what is you have the most knowledge out of all three of us here. So what is your best guess? Because Lana is not telling anybody shit about this movie, and I don't think it's going to come out until the movie comes out. I think they're going to stay silent the whole time. So
they're definitely J.J. Abramsing the shit out of this movie.
Oh, they are. So what is your best guess, Ryan, as to what the hell this fourth movie is going to be without half of the cast?
If I had to guess, something's happening within the Matrix. The machines need to bring back the source code.
Mm-hmm.
And they need Neo instead of just picking a random one because he obviously did more than all the other ones have. They need somebody who knows how to bend the Matrix, but he's not going to do anything unless they bring his girlfriend back.
Interesting. So Neo makes a deal again with the machines. First deal was, hey, I'll take care of your computer problem. I'll fix your computer if you leave my people alone. So they said, fine, come on over. And he did it. So now he's in a position of leverage again. Hey, we brought you back because, sorry, things got fucked up again and we kind of need you. And he's like, not without my woman.
Basically. I mean, that's seeing those two back for this. Like, that's the only thing I can honestly think of. Why else would they have Trinity come back? Why else would they have Neo and Trinity in the same friggin' movie?
Yeah, that's a good point, because why would you, if they're saying, okay, this is I'm just making shit up, but let's say we did a time jump of 500 years. I'm making shit up, right? And so now, okay, the new Matrix that reset at the end of the third movie's fucked up again. We need to bring in a one, but, oh, hey, he's going to look like Keanu Reeves again. We're going to start over, and hey, there's going to be a Carrie-Anne Moss, but guess what? There's going to be no Lawrence Fishburne, but hey, Jada Pinkett Smith is coming back, so we got half of the couple. There we go. That's good enough. Oh, but Hugo's not coming back either. Oh, fuck. What are we going to do? So it's just strange that they're going to work this story in without some of the characters that were absolutely necessary for the original movies to even happen.
Well, I mean, I can see them not bringing Hugo in because at this point, there's really no point.
So if he's destroyed, they're saying
he's done. Yeah, he's done.
He's done. He's not coming back. I could get on with that, but god damn it, he's such a fucking good actor, and we all love him.
Oh, he is. Movies. I mean, unless they want to find a way of how his code just somehow managed to get rebooted with the Matrix after the third movie.
Right. Again, there's a random flash drive that's just laying around.
We got him. We got him. Oh wait,
some random hacker just finds it behind the toilet somewhere. Hey, it's labeled Agent Smith.
Yeah, I was gonna say there'll be some Scotch tape label on it with some handwritten name.
Plug it in.
Hey, what's this? Let's plug this in, and then plug it in, and all shit breaks loose.
Oh, but you can't because it's only USB 1, and that port only accepts USB 3.0 or higher. So
but you know that they're gonna have a guy that knows a guy that knows a guy that knows a guy that has exactly what he's looking for.
Yep.
And he's just gonna have it on him the moment he goes to visit that guy. He's just gonna pull it out of a backpack, and it's right there.
Listen, I got that in my backpack. Hold on a second.
I don't even care if they shoehorn it like that. Or what if Hugo, the moment he died, he was like, "Oh, I backed myself up in the cloud." What's the cloud?
I mean, there you go. Yeah. What if we do cloud versus hard saves? Because we've evolved that as a technology. Cloud saving wasn't really a thing in 1999. So what if we evolve that? What if Smith does exist in the cloud, and now it's the cloud matrix instead of a server room matrix? There we go.
Yeah.
There it is.
There's a possibility.
I don't know.
But who knows?
Who knows?
Nobody knows anything.
Nobody knows. Nobody knows. Jesse, what's your thought? You heard from Ryan and I. What do you got?
I think the cloud's involved. I think Hugo is having a beautiful retirement in his Google Drive right now, and I think when he finds out Neo is back, it's gonna mega bite at him, and he's gonna be upset. He's gonna come back. I I'm okay with a Hugo spinoff, even though it would
That's what we want.
You know, how much do you want to bet that if this Matrix movie does good, they'll all come back?
Well, I think it will. I think it will.
Here's the thing that when I was looking into it, the reason these actors aren't coming back isn't because they didn't have parts. It's because they already had commitments and Wachowskis weren't willing to bend on their availability for shooting. So they just pushed forward. Hugo was like, I did a table read of an earlier draft with Keanu Reeves and Carrie-Anne Moss. We did a table read together. And then he's like, next thing I know, I'm not in the movie and they're moving forward because they wanted a particular release date and he and Lawrence Fishburne weren't available. They already had prior commitments. So it's not that they didn't write them in. It's literally they were trying to get the film out at a certain time. So they just passed them on. That pisses
I never heard that. I didn't hear about that.
I believe that movies have done that before. Like, for example, the new Suicide Squad movie, originally Idris Elba was to take over Will Smith's role, but instead they decided to just make him Bloodsport so they could bring Will Smith back another time. So in this case, I mean, I'm glad they at least did not recast Lawrence Fishburne. So the fact he's not in this movie, wow, it's kind of a bummer because
maybe he'll be back in the second one.
I'm hoping he'll be back
in another trilogy, right?
Yeah.
Or here it is. Neo realizes at the end of this next movie, he needs to go on a solo journey to seek somebody who knows more than him. He gets to this random island.
Dude, he's not going to go on a sabbatical. What the hell, man?
Wait, let me set this up. He gets to this random island, and over there by a cliff sits Lawrence Fishburne. He takes down his hood, and then Neo extends a light.
Don't do it.
A phone, a cell phone.
He extends a flash drive, and then he takes the flash drive and throws it up.
Don't.
He went there. He went there.
So he could be in the movie
with all these like fat, small penguin creatures flying around.
And then he's just like
Trinity's trying to cook one, and then they're all staring at her like, "Cool."
See, we got.
And I'm like Chewy. Trinity's like, "Yeah, fuck you."
Right, I'm still eating the thing, no matter how you look at me. I'm hungry. I'm gonna eat tonight. What are you eating? Nothing. Okay.
Randomly someone goes like this. What was that? That's called dial-up. That's called dial-up. They're speaking. Oh shit! But that's my prediction. We're gonna get a Force Awakens ending from Matrix 4. It's gonna lead right into Matrix 5. Or wait a second.
No, don't say it.
Hugo was the one on the island.
No.
Can you imagine though if they did actually try and bring Hugo back, if he worked with Neo instead of against him?
Now you're on to something.
Bring him back.
Friends become enemies. It's like Brian Griffin's Brook that he's been writing for the last 3 years.
All right, so let's say what if they can't bring Smith back without him having all those powers again?
Or maybe there's something that only Neo has in order to bring back Smith or some shit like that. Like something has to happen in order to bring him back, but he brings him back.
Like they need Smith for something, and they have to bring Neo back in order to get him to work.
What if when he jumped through him in the first movie, you know, he has a piece of Smith in him in this whole entire time?
I mean, that's possible. They could have swapped source code. The code could have got corrupted inside of Neo as well. That's a possibility.
Yeah.
Actually, that makes a lot of sense. So,
Ted's right. I am obsessed with Hugo.
The guy's a phenomenal actor, man. Name a bad movie he was in.
And even if it is a bad movie, he was amazing.
It wasn't his fault.
Right, it wasn't his fault. Bill and Ted Neo. I just want to see Neo look at Morpheus and go, excellent.
Ted, that's prostitution. We can't.
I'm not going to lie. When the Oracle was going through all that stuff, telling Neo everything, I really want him to look at the camera and go, whoa.
Right. Whoa.
Which, by the way, what's really funny because we're doing a Bill and Ted thing right now with Neo. Funny story, in Scary Movie 3, George Carlin plays the architect that's parodying Matrix.
Oh, I love that scene, man.
So a little bit.
I forgot about that. I haven't seen that movie in so long.
It's not that great, but that scene is fantastic.
Oh yeah, I just wanted to throw in there since we were Bill and Tedding it and Carlin's, and I just thought like, oh, there's another little layer right there. There's another little layer. But
we need him back. We need him back. Damn it.
Yes.
Rufus is gonna help Neo. I'm all.
Yes way.
I mean, it makes sense because think about it. They use a payphone to travel in Bill and Ted, and do they not use a payphone in Matrix?
The only way Neo can fly is with the telephone booth.
I'm telling you. I'm telling you I got this sequel.
He just rides right on. He just dials a number and rides on top of it like a surfboard through the clouds.
But you still got to push the star and the number pad at the same time.
Yep, and then he just hops out, flips on top, and he just sails away.
There you go, man. There you go.
I think we figured out Matrix 4. I'm pretty confident.
I think we got a good script together.
I think we got it right here. This is all.
Hey. Let's send it out to the Wachowskis.
Yeah, be like, hey, you want to do an emergency rewrite real quick? I think I got one for you. Here you go.
Would look at us like, we need you all to just not exist anymore.
we need you to fuck off over there now. Just go.
But cast me as one of those ghost characters, please.
Make like the ghost character and get the fuck out of here.
There you go. I got you there. I can do that.
John and I are in the background with our dreadlocks. Like we're just sitting there with glasses looking at each other like, oh yeah, we're getting canceled today. That's it. But anyways, that is all the time for the show. And like I said, Matrix is a huge thing to talk about. One show is not enough. Obviously, we're gonna do more Matrix shows. I mean, number one, because the sequel, it will be coming out pretty soon, which is next year. And trust me, or this year essentially, but it'll be here soon. It will be here soon. So, and Ryan, we obviously want you to be a part of that again because damn it,
I'm down.
A lot here. I like John said. I'm gonna echo what John said. After 20 years of thinking we knew a lot about this movie, we really didn't.
Yeah, you connected.
Think of how I felt when I started doing all the research on it and finding out that they had the machines had their own Paul Revere running through saying the humans are coming. They had their own ambassadors that were going to the UN like, hey, give us an island, we'll be fine. And then everybody else like, yeah, fuck off.
The red pills are coming.
Go make my toast. Go make my toast.
Go make my toast. I don't care about your rights.
The red pills are coming.
The red pills are coming.
The red pills are coming. One LED if by land, 2 LED by sea.
But only if they're double flashing. If they're double solid, leave it the fuck alone because it'll kill you.
Leave it alone. Man, I am killing it with technology jokes. Anyways, I'm still messing around. Anyways, I want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight. This was a lot of fun. Like I said, this will not be the last Matrix show we do, and we will bring Ryan back for the next one we do as the sequel gets closer. And hey, maybe we could bring it back sooner when we get a trailer drop, which let's say I'm feeling a trailer.
Yeah, I'm down.
April, May. April, May is when I'm feeling, or no, May, June, I should say. So that will be very interesting. But I want to thank everybody in the comments section. Tom, Ted, Tom, which Tom am I talking about? No one knows. I want to thank Ryan Francis, Dan Brown. Let's see. Tom, I already said the other Tom. And Daniel Brady. Thank you guys for joining us tonight. Thank you, everybody who's listening.
You mentioned Ted?
I said Ted.
Oh, okay.
He's the second person I said.
Okay.
No, I don't. Ted was killing it tonight in the comment section. Dude, I will not. Dude, this comment, when you were talking about something serious, and I started chuckling like crazy, like a mad person.
I think Ted's in the process of
that one wins. I love that one.
This was the best comment of the you were talking about serious, and I don't even remember what it was because this came up on my feed. I was like, "Fuck!"
But I mean, if Agent Smith materialized on your penis, then technically you raped him.
That's true, unless
Agent Smith.
Unless he looks at you with the serious look on his face and goes, "You can get out of me now."
Please take it out now. Exactly.
Wait,
wrap
what?
up this show before we keep going, please.
Yeah, we got. I can do that. I can literally just do that gag for the rest of the show. We're in way overtime. But anyways, thank you so much for everybody who joined us. Make sure you do one thing for me. Make sure you like and subscribe. We're going to be on YouTube Thursday morning if the Matrix doesn't screw me and make it Friday. And then, but you can watch us right here. Make sure you like our Facebook page, like and subscribe our YouTube page, and that's it, pretty much. But let's thank our original Oracle, our architect, Vancer, the producer who produces the woods, Max Rowland, the OG Agent Smith that make the graphics look amazing for this show, and Ryan Hillsman for joining us.
Thank you, Ryan.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me, guys. Can't wait for the next one.
Can't wait. Until then, I'm Jesse.
And I'm John.
And you've been sitting at the grown-ups table. Thank you, and have an awesome night, everybody. Take care, everyone.